Good morning, friends, and welcome to Trans India Real People, Real Emotions. In today's episode, we will be talking to a company that changed not just its name but also its operations with time. At the same time, despite being a fleet owner, it downsized the fleet when required. But today, although the company is looking to increase its fleet, but the high cost of BS6 trucks is making that purchase impossible, especially when competition is with BS4 and even BS3 trucks. Trans India will be talking today to Amarjeet Singh Baweja from NGT Freight, a company which started off as New General Trading and Transport. But friends, before that, let's take a look at an incident that left the entire automobile industry in shock. Earlier last week, Toyota launched its latest offering for the Indian market, the Innova Hycross. And in the center of all the action was Mr. Vikram Kirloskar, the man who brought Toyota to India. On 25th November, Mr. Kirloskar was all smiles and full of energy as he was part of this very important launch. However, on 29th November, Mr. Kirloskar bid goodbye to the world. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, once said, "Death smiles at all of us. All a man can do is smile back." I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Kirloskar and interact with him on many occasions. And one thing I can surely say is that he would have smiled back at death. Mr. Kirloskar was always that smiling personality. He was 64 at the time of his death. We deeply mourn the sudden demise of Mr. Kirloskar and offer our condolences to the family. May his soul rest in peace. Friends, coming up after this very short break, our interaction with Amarjeet Baweja, a person who also aspired to join the army to serve the nation, but instead joined the family's transport business to serve the nation on the highways. See you on the other side of this very short break. You are watching Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions.
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका ब्लेजो एक्स सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, वरना कर दीजिए ट्रक वापस।
सॉरी अजय, महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो है। एक्शन।
महिंद्रा गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका फ्यूरियो सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, नहीं तो
एक्चुअली जयो, महिंद्रा जयो है, थोड़ा चेंज है। एंड एक्शन।
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका जियो सबसे। चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पे?
मैम, ये चारों ट्रक ज्यादा माइलेज देते हैं, चारों।
तो ऐसा बोलो ना, ब्लेजो एक्स, फ्यूरियो, फ्यूरियो 7 और जयो। महिंद्रा के ये सभी ट्रक्स देते हैं सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज की गारंटी, नहीं तो कर दीजिए इन्हें वापस। महिंद्रा, देश की सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देने वाली ट्रक रेंज।
Welcome back, friends, to Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions. We are in conversation today with Mr. Amarjeet Singh Baweja, who hails from East India, Calcutta. He joined the business at the age of 19 years with all the hard and dirty work in road transport. His father didn't just put him in the AC cabin to run the company. He sent him down on the ground to understand what road transport is all about, what trucks are all about. So yes, talking to Amarjeet Singh Baweja. Amar, welcome to Trans India. Can you first tell us about NGT Freight, which I guess wasn't the name when the company started off?
The NGT Freight Carriers was a name we gave in 1991. Earlier, the name of this company was New General Trading and Transport Corporation. That was the full name. But later on, as everybody makes his name shorter, so we made it NGT Freight Carriers Private Limited. My dad came into this business in 1960 when he shifted to Calcutta. So he used the name of New General Trading and Transport Corporation. We were doing petroleum pumps also. We have 2 petrol pumps in Odisha also. And so the name was such a long one. And later on, when our generation wanted to change a better name, so it was made into NGT Freight Carriers Private Limited.
So Amar, since when have you been in business?
I finished college in 1982. You can say I came into the business in 1980. I had just left college and I was 1920 that time.
So, Amar, the transport business was a natural choice or a forced one?
No, actually, it was like a family business. After my father was the only one, his brothers were also there that time, but they all also separated before I came into.
Okay.
And when I came, my father had a very spread out business. We were all over the country. We had more than about 50 to 55 branches. So, next generation, nobody was there to look into it. So, being the eldest in the family, so I had to jump into it.
But given a choice, would you have chosen some other line of work, Amar?
Yeah, my background is actually from an army school. I have done my schooling from an army school in Belgaum, known as that time King George Royal Military Academy, now known as Rashtriya Military Schools.
Okay.
So that was one option I was always keen to take, the army.
Okay. Amar, having joined fresh from college, how was the joining process like?
I told you, my dad had no helping hand that time. So, as being the elder among all three brothers, I was the one who had to come to business.
Okay.
So, you start with part time, you come for few hours, then you come for full day. And then when I got married, so it became part of life, doing the same business.
How challenging was the transport business when you joined?
That time it was challenging, but it was better off then. We did not have the technology to support us that time. Everything, new routes had to be decided. We used to go by road. I still remember always having a jonga with us to explore roads, see where new highways could be done or things like that. And we watched out. We were the pioneers that time operating in Odisha. Most of the roads and shortcuts were found by my father that time and his brothers. We went to small cities and towns in Odisha.
So, Amar, what was the company's line of work at that time?
That time also we were doing both. We were doing full loads as well as parcels. But our parcels were different. All the industry which went to the suburbs, we used to carry their finish and the raw material for them.
Okay.
Like companies went to a place known as Raigada in Odisha. That time there were no roads to there. So we were the first ones to carry raw material for them. We initially have done a lot of business for when plants wanted to set up their initial factories. We carried all their raw material and the machineries and everything for them.
Amar, I know it's been a long time, but if you can jog your memory back, what were your first few days in office like?
Me, when I joined business, my father put me to all slogging jobs. I was given first to go to the loading points. That time we used to have a lot of dock work, Calcutta docks. So, loading में चले जाओ और workshop में चले जाओ, गाड़ियों का repairing देखो. That was the major job from where I learned transport.
How many trucks did you have back then?
My father that time had about 80 to 90 vehicles.
Okay.
That time in 80. We used to call the truck that time Danda Mercedes. D model होते थे, Tata गाड़ियाँ.
And what were the primary routes?
We were mostly covering Odisha and South India.
Okay.
Bombay was also our route. We used to send our vehicle till Raipur and then do crossing there. It was a big hub for us. We had that time a lot of hub business. Raipur, Sambalpur, Ichapuram, Hyderabad for South. All South material used to go to Hyderabad.
Amar, how much has business changed since then? What are the transitions that you have seen?
See, if I look at business then and now, I think that was a better time. We had a lot of margin in the job. If you worked hard, we could make a lot of margins. Now customers are more updated than the transporters, logistic people. Everybody has a logistic head who keeps looking into who is saving where. So that share he wants. So there is no more margin in operation of a truck and no more margin in booking. You have become like a money lender. You are funding the logistic part of a company for whom you are billing, sending, making margin of 5 to 10% with overheads. Overheads is yours. So there is no fun in business anymore.
But Amar, would you agree that road transport is an ever-growing business? At least that is what the truck sales seem to indicate.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when I came into transport, that one truck we used to do everything. For car carrying also we used to use the truck. For light cargo also we used to use the same truck. For Perchune also we used to use the same truck. There was no change in the truck. Container, I remember I was the first man to come into containerization in 1990 in Eastern India. Okay. Mostly containers used to come from either Delhi transporters or Bombay transporters. Calcutta, nobody had containers. Okay. In 1990, I put the first container to see what a containerization job was. That is the time customer used to pay me up-down freight for booking my container.
Amar, we have been talking to a lot of transporters, and margins, rather shrinking margins, is every transporter's complaint. Who would you blame for this scenario?
Yes, mostly transporters themselves. And the time, it has changed. People have learned a lot. What homework we used to do for us in running the organization, now the customer is doing in using my services.
Amar, gradually you shut down the parcel business. What prompted this decision?
Yeah, we gradually shut the entire parcel business. There was more manpower required, less of margin left. And as we were catering to industries, there was a lot of claims, breakage, damage, shortage in boxes, packing problems. So slowly we got out of the business of parcel booking and went completely full-fledged into container business. Okay. Full loads.
That you thought was manageable easier?
Yeah, that time manpower was less required, less of headache. Only operational part was to be handled.
Amar, how much has IT helped your business? Do you find it much simpler now?
Yes, IT, that too you have to agree. IT has really made the industry work easily on everything. All the day-to-day reports, day-to-day maintenances, day-to-day staff everywhere in the country. That has helped us a lot. We have cut down on staff because of the improvement in the technology. Now you can do anything sitting anywhere.
Well, friends, it is not easy shutting down a part of your business, especially when it has grown to a significant size. But Amar took that tough call and shut down the parcel business. At the same time, he also downsized his fleet significantly. What was the reason behind the same, and was that a well thought out decision? We will know this and more in our interaction with Amarjeet Baweja, but after this very short break. You are watching Trans India, real people, real emotions.
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका ब्लेजो एक्स सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, वरना कर दीजिए ट्रक वापस।
सॉरी अजय, महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो है। एक्शन।
महिंद्रा गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका फ्यूरियो सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, नहीं तो
एक्चुअली जयो, महिंद्रा जयो है, थोड़ा चेंज है। एंड एक्शन।
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका जियो सबसे चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पे?
मैम, ये चारों ट्रक ज्यादा माइलेज देते हैं, चारों।
तो ऐसा बोलो ना, ब्लेजो एक्स, फ्यूरियो, फ्यूरियो 7 और जयो। महिंद्रा के ये सभी ट्रक्स देते हैं सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज की गारंटी। नहीं तो कर दीजिए इन्हें वापस। महिंद्रा, देश की सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देने वाली ट्रक रेंज।
Welcome back, friends, to Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We are in interaction with Amarjeet Singh Baweja from NGT Freight. So, Amar, you have downsized your fleet from a peak of 400 trucks to around 200 now, and you also shut down the parcel business as you mentioned earlier. What was the thought process behind downsizing the fleet?
See, thought process was one, handling of drivers, manpower, and then margin between running a truck. Earlier, the cost of the truck and the margin in running the truck was a good size. If I bought a vehicle for say 10 to 15 lakhs, I used to make 50,000, 60,000 a month. Now I am buying a vehicle for 20 lakhs and I don't make 30 to 40,000 a month. Where there are so many other overheads, cost of maintenance, cost of running a vehicle, government levies, they have eaten away all the margins what we had in the industry.
Amar, do you think that the government is not supportive of road transport?
No, government is not giving you any incentives. They know what is what. But everybody wants to make a fast buck out of this industry only. If you see everyone, it was nice that we had the national permit come under one roof. Otherwise, it was a problem sending drafts to everybody, every state, getting it done, getting the papers updated, running a vehicle. Now, instead of 4 people in a vehicle, we have 2 or 1 who's running a truck.
So, Amar, how do you see the future of NGT from here on?
We are modernizing ourselves, but Euro 6 has again put a full stop to growth for lots of fleet owners like us, because we always thought of increasing fleet, reducing the one which required more of maintenance or more of service to modernize the fleet. But the cost of Euro 6 has become so much that the market cannot support the price or the installment of the vehicle. The freight is not growing. Only the weight is growing. From 9 tons we had become to 12 tonners, 15 tonners, now 18 tonners, then 21 tonners. So the weight is going up, the freight is not going up.
What about the volumes? Has that been on the rise?
Yes, volume with the time has grown, but carriers have grown. A lot of people have come into the business.
So, Amar, do we see your kids joining the family business? I know the elder one has settled abroad in another field. What about the younger one?
Yes, my elder one did transport for 4.5 years, slogged himself, but he realized the amount of energy and time he was wasting in this industry. If he did something else, he could have made more money. So he lastly decided to do something else. My younger son, yes, he is with me doing the same business because he is the only one now looking after the business. So let's see how many years he runs around and finds an alternative for it.
Amar, how important is it to have fleets from a transporter's point of view?
See, now challenges is mostly fleet. We are basically, you can say, from day one, we are mostly fleet operators. With our bookings, we always added a fleet. My father had a very big fleet. I came in and had a fleet. My elder son, when he came, he added a fleet. But the support of fleet is the only way you run a transport now. Now people who are running transports without fleet are not making money or can't make money, as I see into it.
Amar, talking of Calcutta, do the transporters here have any typical problems?
Calcutta, we are one-way transporters. We bring in everything. but we don't take anything out. There are limited industries in West Bengal, and there also everybody is fighting for the load. So what if I am quoting X price, tomorrow somebody is going and say I am doing it Y price, and the third man goes and says I am doing it for Z price. So there is no margin. It is just to go out of Calcutta. People are looking for the cost, initial operation cost to go out of West Bengal. So Bengal has become one-way traffic.
Well, you have also been a member of Calcutta Goods Transport Association for quite some years now. So, what are the primary activities of the association?
I do not know about other associations all over India, how active they are. But CGT is a very limited community. I think we have more than 1,000 transporters in Calcutta, but CGTA must be having around, say, 150 to 200 members only. So we are not giving ample support to everything. We are a limited community which are only looking after a few peoples in central Calcutta. We are not including so many other aspects or carriers or different type of people load doing. Like we don't have members who are either doing short hauls or doing local transportation or doing other big jobs like car carrying or trailers or bus operators. These all we are not including. So we are limited to our small world, and that is all what we do.
So, Amar, what initiatives would you like CGTA to take up?
See, what I feel, we have to get everybody into the net. If everybody is a member, we will have more people giving their thoughts to the industry. There are a lot of next gen boys who have a lot of good ideas, but they are not members. We don't interact with them. We have no change of thought with each other. So what they plan, what they think of, and what they think the industry should go towards, we have no idea.
Amar, we recently heard the announcement of the National Logistics Policy. Do you see that making an impact on ground?
Let's see. People expect a lot of things from this government sitting here. Till now, I think whatever they have said they will do, have tried to do or have done it. So let's see if they can get it. It is better for the industry.
So, Amar, with so much happening all around you, how do you see the future of the road transport industry from here on?
Road transport industry for small players or medium-sized players is no more there. Road transporter is also like a big hub who can absorb a lot of losses for a few years and then take and come back. Can grow. Otherwise, people who don't have backings and do not have money to invest, this industry doesn't give them any more support.
What about the new age, the new startup players that are coming in? You know, Reviews, Black Bucks. What is the thought about them?
See, you're seeing a lot of them have till now not succeeded. I have not seen any good big name coming up. They are getting money to pump in, so they are alive. They will sell and go. But infrastructure, networking is not actually what they have built.
Well, friends, that was our interaction with Mr. Amarjeet Singh Baweja from NGT Freight. NGT Freight is one amongst many transport companies in India whose growth has been put on hold because of rising costs and shrinking margins. While the transport industry does not have much control over rising costs, be it trucks or be it diesel or tires or toll tax or anything else for that matter, but the only thing that they have in their control is freight rates. Or so we believe, because even that seems to have gone into the hands of the customers. But despite all this, we still have transport companies who are on the growth path, but at the same time, we also have companies who've put their growth plans on hold. Trans India will be back next week with more interesting stories and more interesting interviews from people who have made a mark for themselves and have attempted to change the road transport industry. See you again next week. You are watching Trans India, real people, real emotions. Until next week, stay safe. Jai Hind.